So when you put out the bid for proposals, you're not eliminating somebody coming in and putting a bus system on this fixed guideway, right? They can compete, right, with any other system,
If the bus or the rubber tire vehicle can meet our specifications,
Right.
yes.
right?
Right.
I mean, it has
But
to
I
be
gotta
the
tell you,
specific,
that excludes conventional buses or even articulated buses. It has to meet our specs.
which is basically capacity, speed, right?
Everything else,
Right,
yes.
right, which makes sense because we got to deliver a certain product. But if a bus system can meet those specs, they can compete, right? In fact, for us who are concerned about getting the best price and the best system, I think it's best to keep this thing open and that we don't pre-select a technology so we can go out there, have everybody compete openly, give us their best offer, the best design for the system, and then we select. Right? Isn't that true? Wouldn't it be the worst thing for us to say in the beginning, this has to be bus and only bus?
Right.
Right?
That's how it was done in 92,
Which is
91.
which is the worst way to go. So I just want to say that if we want to find the best deal for the community, which we all want, yeah. I mean, if buses can provide the kind of capacity, speed, operating costs as any other system, they can compete. Yeah, they can compete. But let's keep it open and see what's out there. Yeah. So anyway, I think that should help everybody understand how we should approach this. So thank you.
Although, if I could advocate for others who are very interested in how we're proceeding with this, on the face of that argument, Councilmember, one would tend to agree because you would want to see all options presented to the city so we can make the best decision, like Councilmember Kobayashi says, for the dollars that are going to be available for this project. I'm not sure we have actually locked in that technology based on the LPA vote because of the performance standards that are already built into Bill 79. Am I correct?
Yes.
So when you come out with your so-called specifications, we have already, the council by a vote, have already locked in so-called performance standards that whoever wants to bid for this project will have to meet. And then you will have to try to refine those as you put out your RFP. But we already have set the parameters. Now, to what extent, I'm going to be very curious as to whether or not we have locked out technology based on that vote that we did on the LPA back in December. Those are performance standards that are locked in now. And to the extent that you refine those, we're going to be very interested. And that's where the rubber meets the road. And that's where, as we go back to what Councilmember Kobayashi says, to what extent does the council have in the decision by which we select this technology? Now, you have said that we have already selected that based on the vote on the LPA, right? Certain capacity, speed, and whatnot. So let's start with that as the parameters. When we start to refine the specs, that's where the council is trying to figure out whether or not we have a standing on how we go about selecting that technology. That's the question that is before this panel. And so I have to try and deal with that vis-a-vis what the procurement code allows us to do and what the ordinance has said that the council had reserved the right to select the technology, irrespective of what Councilmember Okino said. We have all of that in play. And so as we go forward on this thing, we're going to have to try and sift that out and make sure that we make the best decision for everyone concerned. Madam Chair.